action. And it's also the part of the nervous system that's responsible for fight or flight or freeze. So it's located deep in the limbic system in the amygdala, and it's our basic survival mechanism. It's what we came into centuries and centuries ago when we had to run from mastodons. We don't have mastodons anymore, but we have a lot of things in the world that make us anxious that we aren't in control of. But the body creates this incredible rush of adrenaline as though we were going to need that much to run from a mastodon. So oftentimes, and as we're able to run from the mastodon, we would use that adrenaline. It would be synthesized through our body, and we would not have this incredible buildup of adrenaline and cortisol later. So what we have now in the stress response, and this cortisol was sort of talked about as the stress hormone, which is when all of the adrenaline has reached a fever pitch and it's not being metabolized. So all of this stress hormone lowers the immune system, it raises anxiety and aggression, feeling things are too much or out of control, and it also raises blood flow and blood pressure, which is what it needed to do when we had to run from the mastodons. You need to have that blood pressure there and the blood available for your extremities to run. That's not quite the same case right now. So the parasympathetic system, again, sitting beside the sympathetic nervous system, and as you look at structures, the nerve systems are actually parallel, sitting beside one another. It's the rest and digest. It's the rest, relax, and digest part of the nervous system. And it slows the heart, it relaxes the GI tract, it aids in digestion, and it really enables the body to metabolize all of the oxygen and nutrients and coming into it and send it through the intestine to the body, through the blood system to everywhere it needs to go. So that's what we call the relaxation response. You may have had the experience on the mat going, oh. Dr. Carmichael in his book talks about the wellness response wellness response in tissues with the use of the mat. And again, I think that this is the parasympathetic system being able to rest and relax so everything can be digested. The importance of these two nervous systems is that they need to work in concert. The sympathetic nervous system needs to be available for us to take action. It needs a certain amount of challenge and motivation and anxiety to move it. But it also needs to be balanced by the parasympathetic nervous system. And this is where the mat comes in. So, I mean, I kind of had a vague notion of how this works, so I began to do some more reading, and I apologize for any scientists here in the room, because I have just such a rudimentary knowledge of this, but I'll try to share some of it with you. It's actually about resonance. It's about harmony and resonance, with each one of these different systems playing one of the different musical parts. So that what we have is the Earth's electromagnetic force. And this is about, Schumann did some measuring years ago. He calls it the Schumann effect. And he's measured the electromagnetic force that circles the Earth. And we had a wonderful display of it last night. I don't know how many saw the lightning show. Or at least I was able to see it on the news. And it was dramatic. And what that electromagnetic force is, in that electricity coming out through the lightning, traverses the Earth. And the lightning forces throughout the Earth put it into the ionosphere. So this is what we talk about when we say that the ISLRS runs parallel or has been engineered to run at the same hertz, run at the same beats per second that the Earth's electromagnetic force runs at. So it runs at around 7 or 8 or 7 to 10, 7 to 12 hertz. And also the body's biological window of healing. In the cells, what Carmichael speaks of, that the body has a biological window for healing. A biological window in which this electromagnetic force can move into the cells and open the windows in the cell towards getting some of this healing energy, building storehouses of body energy, ADP. It's too complicated and too much to go into right now. But this is what the Earth does and what the mat does. So the ISLRS has pulsated, has been programmed randomly to pulsate within this window of the cell's availability, of the cell's openness. Again, it's the same hertz as the Earth's magnetic field, the Schumann response. And they've also done some studies and measured the electromagnetic force emanating from physical healers' hands.
Oh.
Say, for example, a Reiki healer or somebody doing a therapeutic touch or different kinds of healing, kind of hands-on healing. And they've measured it at 7.83 hertz, which is the same average as the Earth's magnetic force and is the same pretty much average as the ISLRS uses.
The alpha waves.
For the alpha waves, which then move the body into alpha waves. And I'm going to stop here and let Dolores segue into Dolores talking much more about the different alpha waves and other waves and how the ISLRS helps with that.